What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast. We're the NBA podcast of the people, your home for lukewarm takes and substandard analysis. I'm Titus Two Shots Dominguez, and joining me tonight it's Chris, the Stats Man Gorman. Hit him with the stats, Chris.
Hi. The Nets are 19-3 when Ben Simmons does not make a free throw, and they are 1-7 when he does.
Wow, so they don't need him to shoot free throws.
Game on the line. He needs 2 free throws. He's got to miss them.
He's the prototypical NBA player. It's the lawn boss, Joey McCroskey. Gets that Joe.
Hey.
Pre-show talk. None of that. And cleaning this all up in post, it is Adam the Brunson Burner Bruns. How the levels tonight, Adam?
They are fantastic.
Fantastic. You heard it here first.
Yeah,
Headphones,
they're comfy.
Juicy. Well, we got a lot on deck for you guys tonight. We're going to talk about the All-Star first returns. We're going to talk how hooked on the Bulls are you? They look great over the weekend. A little rough tonight, but that's okay. We're going to come up with some fake LeBron trades. Is it? Some fake LeBron trades. We'll talk about other trade rumors from around the league. Chris has those locked and loaded. We're going to touch on KD's injury. Unfortunate timing on that one. Then we're going to play another round of playoff eliminator and eliminate 3 more teams from the playoffs, at least from the Box Out Boys perspective. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the All-Star voting returns. Second returns come out tomorrow, so that's kind of exciting. See the immediate updates if there's any changes. We'll start here in the West, where the leading guards are Steph Curry and Luka Doncic. The front court is LeBron James, Jokic, and Anthony Davis. Joey, any surprises, any shocks, anything you want to say on the first returns from the Western Conference?
Yeah, so I got 4 guys on that Western Conference list that should be lower, in my opinion. So Anthony Davis, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves should be off. That's the LA bump, I think.
Yeah.
Like, he's fine. Like, he's having a good season, don't get me wrong, but he's not
an all-star starter.
He's not there yet. Kawhi, like, that's the LA bump too. He's barely played enough games that I feel like we should consider. Like, there should be like a minutes cap on these or something.
Yeah.
Paul George, like, good season, but really, like, that just seems I don't know. And then Anthony Davis too. Like, he's putting up a good number. He's balling, but like
before the injury,
he's injured again, and like they're like his stats aren't actually impacting in terms of wins.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess you could say the same thing about LeBron, but LeBron, for what he's doing at the age he's doing, like that's
kind of like
they've been winning lately.
Yeah, without AD, which means without AD,
these votes regardless
makes kind of the point even more. Like, yeah, he's an all-star, but is he at the top there starting? That makes me feel, I don't know. And then also, I think Dame should be a little bit higher on that list.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see him above Clay and Russ.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely above Russ. That's
the LA bump. Chris, any thoughts on the first returns from the Western Conference?
No, the starting 5 is locked in. LBJ, Jokic, AD, maybe not AD, maybe Zion, I guess. I don't know. Curry
Yeah,
and
that's probably
Doncic are the 1-2 in the backcourt. Anybody like that might actually get started? Andrew Wiggins being 5th in voting. Are we really gonna do this again? Where Andrew Wiggins gets I get it, he's having a better year than last year. Last year's an all-star, but like
if you think about it, it's like it could actually happen with AD and Zion kind of being hurt. Everyone, if Zion doesn't get to the right amount of games, if Anthony Davis is still out, during the All-Star break, it could get into a weird situation where Wiggins just kind of slides in as the next
sneaks in again.
That's kind of weird.
Let's
get weird for sure.
He's not. Oh, he's back now. Sorry, he's been back for a couple games.
Yeah.
He was out for so long. He's only played 24 games this year. It's kind of weird to see him this high. Like Lauri's the most deserving, performance-wise player. Despite the free falling Jazz lately, but
free falling. He's the guy I voted for when I did my
Me too.
vote. So yeah, I went Lauri, Jokic, James, Steph, and Doncic.
That was mine. That was my 5 too.
All right, it was a
I think
good
I
5.
had Zion instead of Lauri, but
Okay.
even though I just said he's probably the most deserving.
Any love for like
this is the Giannis era.
the Giannis era? Let's not mention Giannis. That's any love for like Ja or Shea in 3 and 4 slot. I mean, it seems pretty like the voting as far as the guards wasn't really close at all. It was Luka and Steph by a mile. But do you think any of those two guys should maybe slide in? Is that something that could happen?
I feel like they're all stars. I don't know about starters. I think Steph and Luka should lock that up. Maybe Shea over Steph, but Steph before the injury was on better stats than his unanimous MVP season. So it's hard to say he doesn't deserve, but they're also not winning. Oklahoma City isn't either. So it's kind of a coin flip there. And I think Steph just gets it on principle as he should.
A little legacy there too.
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, my problem with Memphis or with John Morant in Memphis is that these continue to win without him. Like he's been out the last couple of games. I mean, I guess it's against Utah and San Antonio, but they're still they don't miss with I remember last year when Ja was out. Yeah, like maybe we should trade Ja. It's like let's not get nuts here. Like there are some crazy fans that want to trade prototypical great NBA players, like maybe people on this pod, but we can get to that maybe later. But like you don't trade a guy like Ja Morant even if your team is still winning. So like, but sorry. With that being said, he shouldn't be over because Memphis is still so good even without him. It's like maybe this is more popular system than his do, and because Luka and Steph are just so dominant.
Maybe just on a good team. Maybe just on a good team. I don't know.
And I like Damian Lillard, but he's been hurt. I think he's kind of like he's just an aging man, right? Like he's just kind of, he can't play 82 games anymore. And the Blazers are free falling as well. Like we'll get later, but man, they're on a tough run lately.
Having a bit of a struggle there. The Blazers are. All right, let's go into the Eastern Conference. Your backcourt is number 1, Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell, number 2. And then your front court so far is Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Joel Embiid. But this one, a lot closer battle. So Tatum is also in the mix here. He's just behind Embiid by about 100,000 votes. Harden and Jaylen Brown are right behind Donovan Mitchell. So that this one could see some fluctuation. Chris, any big surprises here or any guys you want to see a little bit higher?
The front court in the East is just so fun because the top 4 have 2 million plus votes, and Jimmy Butler is 500K and everyone drops below. It just drops off, right? It's just those 4. I don't know. We can talk about Nick Claxton being at number 9, but it's not big. Paolo, I feel like he should get some more votes.
Paolo's in there.
I think he could be an all-star starter. The way the Magic are competitive, they're playing when he plays. Magic look like they could win any night. Sorry, not a star. I mean a reserve.
All-star. Reserve.
An all-star.
All-star.
The guards, Kyrie. Like, are there that many people? Is this more of a political vote?
I don't know what's happening there. That's a whew.
They can't vote for Trump yet, so they're voting for Kyrie.
Free Kyrie.
When Joey and I were talking about this when Tyson was on a few weeks back, I mentioned Jaylen Brown. I mentioned as a guard, but James Harden, maybe he's on this list. Yeah, it's kind of tough. Like Halliburton. Honestly, Halliburton should be getting more love, but he's in Indiana, so he's not going to get the appreciation he probably should.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Joey?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago when we talked, I mentioned Jalen Brunson, and the fact that
he's not even. He should
on
be
the list.
up here.
Period. That to me is the biggest snub of all the snubs. How does New York fan vote not get him up there? I agree. Paulo should be higher. Halliburton should be higher too.
Derrick Rose is number 9.
Yeah.
I got the wrong guard on this list.
What is happening? Fans.
So just for kicks. So Nick Claxton, right? You mentioned Chris shouldn't be on that list either. I wrote down a snub because if Nick Claxton makes a list, then like, hey, the snub is Vooch. This isn't really a snub,
absolutely.
But Vooch has 5 more points per game, 2.5 more rebounds, and 1.5 more assists this season compared to Nick Claxton, and he's in there. So like, that's just to me
that's just embarrassing.
This is a joke. But
Vooch is having a sneaky.
Okay.
The
I think the top 5 though, starting 5 in the East is relatively sound. I don't have a ton of problems with it.
Yeah, I think when I voted for it, I think I ended up going Brown, Mitchell, Durant, Giannis, and Embiid. I think is how I went. I might have gone Tatum. I don't know if I. I'd have to look that one. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I put Tatum in there.
Yeah,
because we can get Embiid out of there.
I think that's what I did.
That's
I think
right.
Embiid out of
Yeah.
there.
Fuck Philly.
Fuck Philly. Who cares? But I thought it was a little surprising to see Kyrie up so high. It definitely was interesting. So one take I had is I kind of wanted. What would you guys think if they went to, instead of 5 and 5 from each conference, if they just went the best 10 for the starters? So league wide, you picked 4 guards and 6 front court. And then you could just have, it would be, LeBron, Jokic, and then the 4 guys from the East. And then that's your 6. And then if you had the guards, it's Clay or Steph, Luka, Kyrie, and Mitchell. Would that be because then you could kind of swap out conferences if there was a loaded up, position at one conference. What would you guys think about that idea? Would it be a little too crazy?
I like it. It kind of reminds me of how I think it was the Golden Globes or the Oscars are talking about doing non-gender awards going forward.
Let's throw them all in there.
Just throw them all in, throw them all together. Yeah,
who's the best?
Yeah, exactly.
Just for the starters, and then I thought
But so if it's only for the starters, then how do you do the reserves? Whichever. Like, what if all 4 guards come out of the West? Then we need.
So then you would have,
guards
you'd have to have this. So then you would have.
I guess
the
that's
same
still
amount of
fair though.
positions.
I kind of like that more.
Fair.
Yeah.
But then the starters, then all right, you get the best 10 guys as the starters, and then
it's kind of
let's go league wide, even it up, pick the same amount of guys from each conference.
I'm actually more for it than I thought. Yeah.
I thought it would be fun because I was like, it's gonna suck not having Embiid, Tatum, Giannis, or Durant. Like one of those guys is gonna miss out on.
That's the thing, and AD shouldn't be there.
Yeah, and AD shouldn't be there.
Those 4.
Should they just kill the positions then?
I thought about that too.
Well, I like the backcourt, front court.
Front court. That's what I like. I like front court, back court. I think that's enough, and then you get all right, we get some small guys and some big guys.
I don't know, with the way that they're doing, like the top vote getter then gets to draft their own team. Like that makes the drafting part more exciting. I think if you have like position lists, because it actually takes some scheming and some strategy to build the correct team to compete in the game.
I could see that.
Both of those would be fun though. I don't think
I would love to watch that show again and see Durant not pick James Harden.
Oh, that was so good.
For the entire time. Like,
so awkward, but also amazing.
It's amazing.
Well, that was just the first return. Tomorrow we get the second returns, and so next week we'll probably talk about that and see how it's looking going forward. We'll maybe start talking reserves soon, and obviously, hey, the All-Star game is right around the corner, man. Almost a month away. So
yeah, halfway point
to the season.
We're right there right now.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into some of that stuff. But let's go into our second question of tonight. And that is, how hooked on the Bulls are you? Me and Joey are fishermen. Chris once had his fish murdered on a pondside. So I'm not sure if he's with us actually.
Chris is frozen like his fish.
Oh, he's coming back. There he is. So yes, so I'll quickly explain the levels while Chris
Never went back.
himself. He never went back. We murdered one fish, and yeah, you watch a murder, you really can't go fishing. So there's if you're not a fisherman, there's several kind of levels here to how hooked are you. The lowest level is being spooked. You saw the bait, you saw the guy standing on the bank fishing for you. You took off down the lake. The next level up is you're looking at it, you're seeing it, you're like, hey, I might take a bite at this bull's bait. The third level is that you actually take a bite. You took a nibble. You're hitting it. You're tapping on it. The next level up is that you're on the line, man. The hook's in the lips. You're shaking. You're fighting it up, but you get reeled in. And then our fifth spot is you're in the boat, and that's a top spot unless you want to consider yourself the super bonus. I'm in the pan. I've been breaded, and I'm frying for the bulls.
I'm a shore lunch.
I am a shore lunch. So, Joey, let's go with you, man. How hooked are you on the Bulls? Do you want to add in tonight's fiasco to it too? Let's talk it out here.
Yeah, no surprise. I'm in the boat. I'm fried in the pan, and I'm mounted on the wall. And
Wow.
Even with tonight's game,
here it is.
I'm rejuvenated by the run that Zach is on. So since the Minnesota fiasco, the past 3 weeks, he's averaging 26.9 a game on 52% shooting and 47% from three. I think tonight probably is pretty darn close to that same stat line. I still have my same frustrations that I think we've discussed at length, but I am very excited about Zach turning the corner. I messaged the group earlier and, said, hey, his bounce looks like it's back. And he said he feels better. His knee feels good. He's got a step back and he's attacking, and he's, instead of kind of beginning of the season, right, he was always going around people at the rim, and he started to try and go through them a little bit more. He's just being more aggressive. His first step just looks fast, and his jumper does not look as flat as it did in the beginning of the season. It looks very wet. And so I'm hooked. I'm hooked emotionally because it's the thing I care about the most in the sports world. And I'm also hooked as a fan because and I guess for my own pride, because I have harped on Zach LaVine being the guy for many seasons here, and
he's looking good right now.
He's looking good. I don't know if he's the answer to all the problems, but he certainly doesn't look like the problem anymore, I guess you could say.
Chris, where are you at, man?
Yeah, I want to be hooked on the line. I want to be in the boat. But just like how that one time I went fishing, you guys like just beat it down, chopped it up, and just use it as bait. I'm taking a bite. I'm just kind of like looking around like, all right, if you guys like cook it, maybe I'll have it. Like when Joey got that goose, hunting, it's a little different, but like still tried the meat. I took a bite of the meat. I'm still harping on the Lonzo Ball injury updates. I've been following that, and
you really want to hurt yourself.
If he comes back, I'm in. I'm all in. I'm in the boat. Let's go. But like he's so far. Io's been fine, but he's another sophomore that's kind of not taking that extra leap that you would expect. Yeah, and so I'm not getting my hopes up too much. It's kind of like when you get your hopes up too high, sometimes you get destroyed. So trying to heed my expectations.
Keep them low. Yeah. I mean that's where I'm at too. I've taken a bite. I would have said last week when they started having that run, I was definitely looking. I'm definitely in right now as far on the Bulls. I've taken a few bites at their bait, but I'm definitely not on the line. I'm not quite sucked in just yet. I think they still got a few problems. I am like what Joey was saying. I'm very excited about how Zach has been playing. He looks very good right now. Hopefully this isn't just a stretch, and hopefully this continues. And this is him kind of getting right from that injury. He has looked very fast. The jumper has been on point. I'm still seeing some issues at the rim. Like he's been better at the rim, but I still don't love the way he finishes a lot. I don't think that's like an injury thing. I think that's him. But he has looked better. And then him and Io at times when they get running, it looks really good. And having Lonzo Ball back would make that better. I doubt he's coming back this season. And it also makes me a little more willing to maybe give DeMar a lesser role or maybe move on from him. But I don't
Dabble
think
in
it's going to happen.
Dabble in the markets. The markets.
Dabble in the markets.
Should be dabbled. If someone comes calling
I'd
for DeMar, for P. Will,
Mhm.
for Vooch,
What about Caruso?
Kobe, Caruso. I think
Yes,
every one
Is
of
there
those
anybody
phone
off
calls-
the table? Who's
I
off
think-
the table?
Zach.
I think Zach's the only one off. the
Zach's
table.
off the table.
It would depend
I
on
mean,
what I mean. depend on what
unless
you
Like,
the
we got
haul
like a,
is
like a
like-
Donovan Mitchell kind of offer.
Okay,
Yeah.
different story, but I don't think
Yeah.
anybody's coming with that.
Okay.
Like, I'm willing to take lesser, probably not what they should be, offers for like a Vooch, Patrick,
yes.
DeMar, just to get some assets. Like, they have nothing, right? They're dry on picks pretty much.
Yeah.
And they're currently right middling in basketball hell. You know, we're going to get the eighth pick for like the next 10 years, and something has to give. So I think nothing should be off the table unless,
Something's
Zach
gotta
maybe,
give.
unless
Yeah.
someone's calling saying, hey, here's 2 players and 5 picks and 2 first rounders are part of those 5. Like,
Because I think with what we learned kind of happened in the offseason where obviously Zach got signed, but also Donovan got extended, that I think you're basically trying to make the playoffs. So if you got to do everything you can to make the playoffs this year, next year, and just keep trying to take your chances. So whatever that ends up being, like you said, Vooch is a unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. So, you got to might have to get something, but who knows what you can get for him. All right, here we go. We got another question here in the chat.
bag of beans.
Bag of beans. Who would you vote the best player of the week?
And the person you pick for the player of the week, if you had to name a hot sauce after them, what would it be?
All right. Well, let's show that one.
Oh, yeah.
The person.
Hot
Give me
sauce.
that hot sauce.
I think Joey's got it right there. It's Flight 8 is the hot sauce name, and Zach Levine is the player of the week.
I don't see any way you argue that the run of threes he had against Detroit, it was Detroit, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, against the Pistons was unreal. He was 11 of 13 in that game, and then followed it up against Boston and had another great game. Almost willed them back to victory in that one when DeMar went down in third quarter. And then,
40 tonight.
yeah, went for 38 tonight, I think.
Yeah.
But the minutes are up, the points are coming. Yeah, I like it. Zach, and the name is Flight 8.
Flight 8 sauce. It's got 8 peppers in it. That's the hook.
Ooh,
8
that sounds like
different-
a
I
sounds
just
like a
kinda-
good brand. I kind of
I kind of want to make this now. Yeah.
You could send that to Zach as a
Zach, hey.
business opportunity.
I could pitch it with Stacy. Give me the hot sauce commercials. They write themselves here, guys.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
The back
yeah,
of
clip that.
the back sticker of the bottle is just Stacy with like a cartoon bubble coming out of his mouth. Give me the hot sauce.
8 peppers.
8 peppers.
All right. Any other questions?
Chris, do you have a?
Oh, my best player of the week. Yeah, it's Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
I have to highlight him because going into our podcast last week, he was basically taken out of MVP discussion because they got blown out by OKC. But since that
Yes.
moment, he's just been on a tear, scoring 35 points a game on average. 4 wins in a row against Dallas, San Antonio, of course, Chicago, and New Orleans. In that Chicago game, he got that BS rip through call.
Yeah,
But
that's a
he's
stupid
just,
call.
I hate that call.
That's a,
The fact is, he still got it. And kind of was like, oh, this guy's like a superstar. Kind of, he knows what he's doing, kind of
Yeah.
thing. It's like he's taking his game to another level, and it just looks like he's another level as in playing
Yeah.
the refs. And I don't know if he's an MVP, but like I'm seeing him a little differently. I think,
Yeah.
as we progress this year with
they
him.
have the best record in the league right now, too, I think. So
we're calling him out.
but you got to name the sauce now.
I don't have a sauce. I have like the Tatum. There's got to be like a Tatum taters.
I would say, just call them
And,
like hot taters or holy taters. That's what I would call it.
No,
Holy taters.
Tatum tots.
Tatum tots.
Tatum tots.
What is that? That sounds like an appetizer.
Yeah, looks like taters. Tater tots. Tatum tots.
Tatum tots. Yeah.
All right.
How are you not putting this together?
No, I
like
get it, but like
we-
my brain doesn't think sauce. My brain thinks tots. It thinks
We're just
tater
thinking tots. It's a good dish. The
You
TT
just-
I started thinking
sauce
tots.
baskets
You-
with the
TNT
double T sauce.
You sprinkle some
sauce.
Flight 8 on your Tatum tots.
Flighty and your Tatum tots. There we go. It's a whole meal here. This is for our basketball themed restaurant.
Yes.
Our bar.
The
The
basket
basket
bar.
bar.
The basket bar.
Trademark.
Basket bar.
The
Hashtag
basket
trademark.
Hashtag trademark. All right, well, let's move on to some more fake things we can invent. And we're going to talk about fake LeBron trades. Plus, Chris had some trades that could actually possibly happen, or we'll debate
I'm
which
like
ones most
this
possibly happen.
wasted time of a segment with
This
LeBron.
wasted
Let's
time
go.
of a-
Let's
yes.
let's talk. Let's talk about
Let's talk. All right, I came up with 3 trades. I wanted to trade us LeBron to a contender potentially because he's wasting away this great season in LA. So the first one I have is LeBron to Denver for Michael Porter Jr. and Bones Highland. Works in the trade machine. The second one I had is LeBron to Chicago. I had to try it for DeMar and Io. I thought that's a good, you're getting rid of DeMar, and then obviously Io is the real piece that LA's getting back. And then I have LeBron to Phoenix for Crowder and the Cams, Cam Payne and Cam Johnson.
Okay, you started strong. Bones Highland and MPJ at least had me thinking. The
Yeah.
last 2 were just the most disrespectful trades I've ever
I know.
heard in my life.
I would just put stuff in the
Well,
machine and see what I'm like. Oh, that works.
Seeing-
Cool.
just seeing what
Did
works.
its
Good trade.
salary work out? Is that
Yeah, that's how I was just salary only. This was, but the Denver one is the one I actually really.
I don't want to. Sorry, I don't mean to. I really like the Bones Highland MPJ Michael Porter Jr. Like nobody's talking about him this year.
Yeah.
He's actually playing.
He's a
just
piece.
not. He's a
Bones
he's
a
a guy.
piece. Like
He's
He
a
missed
guy.
he missed like 2 weeks in there.
So
I like that.
yeah.
I had Denver down as well. I had Michael Porter Jr., KCP, and some picks. It did work as
Yeah.
well. The other one that I had was LeBron to Dallas
Oh, I would look into them.
for
What?
Hardaway Jr., Bertans, JaVale McGee, and then it'd be 4 picks. I didn't come up with this one myself. I looked this one up.
That's
it'd be
4.
2
Oh, okay, so this is the
Yeah,
Godfather.
it'd be 4 picks. It'd be like 2 first rounds and then 2 first round swaps. But it was like a ton. But then I looked at the lineup. And it was like Luka, LeBron, Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Maxi Kleba, and that's a good squad.
yeah. Luka LeBron. I mean, are you kidding me?
Like if you're getting 3 or 4 more years out of LeBron, like that's a.
2
I
titles.
think you've got 2 titles for sure in there.
Now, what about the rumor that's been going around this week that LeBron at the offseason requests a trade and goes to Golden State, and that the package is some sort of thing of like Wiseman, Kuminga, or
I'm
Jordan
not gonna
Poole.
lie. If that happens, I'm gonna quit basketball. I'm gonna quit the
Quit.
NBA. I'm not doing the podcast. I'm done.
Just that I
I'm
want this to
I'm-
happen
I'm out.
so
No.
bad, not because you would quit basketball, because you would.
You really. You sound a little bit more excited after I said that. but yeah.
Now, actually, it's a bonus, but no, I just feel like it would be the greatest. Like, what did this actually just happen? And then I actually don't think they guaranteed a win. I feel like it wouldn't be like a lock win, but I'd also be like, you know what? That team's gonna be really fucking good.
That team would be really, really fucking good.
Joey, what do you think, man? You hate that?
I don't know if I'd quit basketball.
You'd
but-
be pissed.
I'd be pretty annoyed. I feel like it'd be fun to like watch during the regular season. Because like it would just be exciting and
Yeah.
like flashy. But then when it got to the playoffs and you're like, great, this is pretty much done already. Like
I'm still not over when Durant
be
actually
annoying.
went to Golden State, because that Golden State was the most fun team to watch in
Yes.
the league, and then Durant went there, and it was like, you took it away, guys. Like they're better, yes, but they're not as fun to watch.
You know, I think the only reason why for me this would be fun. I mean, the Durant team was fun for me too, but because they're all old, and it's kind of like this. Let's get all these guys together for one last chance to beat these kids that are all coming up, the new era versus the old era, and I just think it would be awesome, and to see
That's
Steph
what the
and-
Lakers did with Gary Payton, Karl Malone.
Yeah, it's what it would feel like. Yeah,
Kobe and Shaq, right?
and that's why I don't think they would actually. I don't necessarily think they would win for like easily. I actually don't think that. I think it would be a tougher series than people think. But I would love to see LeBron. If let's say they could keep Jordan Poole, if he had Poole, Clay, and Steph around him,
oh,
what would you do? Oh,
There's
that'd be
not
so
a
cool.
nickname that would fit that lineup.
No, that's the greatest
death-
team of all time.
The death lineup is no longer valid.
Yeah.
It's
That's the Death Star lineup. I don't know what you
the
would call
Death
that.
Star.
Death Star lineup.
I like that.
All right, Chris, you said you had some
That
actual
was so
potential.
serious that Chris had to put his beer down. He couldn't
Yeah.
even hold his beer anymore. I heard it clink.
Was it,
on
you
the
heard
floor.
that too? Oh man,
It was so serious.
that was
Ruined his night.
just
Okay, Mike's. He's so
me out.
flustered now.
It's just that trade just bummed me out.
Yeah.
What was the
Come
third one you
on.
had? What was the third? Sorry, what was the?
Third one I had was him to Phoenix for Crowder and Campaign and Cam Johnson.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right, let's move on.
Let's move on. I don't need to touch on that.
So I had likelihood of these trades happening. Bojan Bogdanovic out of Detroit. They want an unprotected
Yes.
first and a good young player. Do you think anybody in the league will actually make that kind of trade?
The Lakers need to do that. That's who needs to do that.
So like Austin Reeves, is he considered a good young player? Maybe he would fit the bill, and then an unprotected first in
Yeah, give him
2025
Yeah,
It's probably the only good
or
young player
27, whatever it is.
That's the only good young player you could send.
I think
I don't think it's Boyan's just not that like Detroit's gonna keep him. Let's move on. John Collins, the man who's been getting traded since his second year in the league, it feels like.
rumored to
what
the
do you guys
Nets
thi-
too, right?
First off, what do you think of John Collins? And second off,
I think
he
he's
was just-
good.
yeah.
But did you see what the Hawks are asking for him?
I haven't. Seen
That's
it.
why I just asked
Yeah.
what do you think of him
The-
first, because
They're asking like Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert package for
what
him.
are they? What are these people doing?
Right. Like he's good. He's got value
Yeah.
to somebody, but he's not that's like a
Yeah,
that's
you're
like
not
a
getting a
two
haul.
that's like a 2-person for one, or like a person and like a pick here and there. Like this
Yeah.
is not LeBron back to the Cavs. Oh, we had it last week. I had the idea last week.
Yes, LeBron back to the Cavs. That was the one I did not work.
yeah,
at-
you didn't how did you not have a fake trade for LeBron to Cleveland?
because I forgot to do that one. I think I did. I know. I think it was
We don't have any
Kevin Love, and
Yeah.
somebody else.
Darius Garland.
Darius Garland, yes, but I think the money was too much.
Yeah, because Garland has that poison pill.
Yeah, and
thing.
Garland had the poison pill. But I think you could almost do it for straight up for Love. But there's no like what is
straight up, yeah.
straight up.
Straight up. Who says no?
You have to require a
says no?
third team, and
And then obviously Cleveland would probably be dumping a lot of their picks. Or no, they gave all their picks to. I was thinking of Utah. Got all their picks.
Utah.
Yeah.
Would LeBron to the Cavs like this season right now be that team would be that team would be better than LeBron to Golden State?
No.
yeah,
Maybe long term.
I think so.
I think
With
right off
Jared
the gate.
Allen and Mobley in that front court,
Yeah, Allen, Mobley, Mitchell, LeBron, and guard like
It's
Garland
hard for
and
me to say
Mitchell.
that they would be better than the.
I mean, Clay did drop 50
That is
like
tough.
last week, right?
yeah. Mitchell dropped 71.
I would maybe say they're maybe a more
Oh,
complete, more
yeah.
complete team,
Yeah,
but better. That's weird. So that's semantics, but
That's a lot of points.
I still think either way. I think they would. The Cavs win the title.
Yeah. Oh,
LeBron's
man.
not leaving LA. He's
No.
retiring
No,
in
he's
LA.
not. He's
According to
not.
Zach Lowe 5 hours ago, it's literally his pod that he.
He's
posted before this.
retiring in L.A. Come on,
just,
LeBron.
just need
Why
some
would you leave
content.
LA?
He should.
You've been to LA. I don't know why you don't just live in LA. You live in Houston. Go to LA. I understand it's a little more expensive, but I heard it's nicer in LA.
Bluestone.
Maybe.
No, man. Get him Bogdanovich. They need to get Bogdanovich, or they need to do the Buddy Hield.
Give him
Miles
DeMar.
Turner. Give him DeMar. Yeah, there you go. Have him deal with that. Another guy that can't shoot threes around LeBron.
All right. And Duncan Robinson. Likelihood this guy gets traded
This is a guy I would like to see the Bulls go get.
for Pat
He-
Williams.
No, that would be like a Kobe White. I would be like somebody like that.
Yeah.
Doug
I
Robinson's
mean, it's just the
expensive,
contract's so crazy.
Yes.
though. It's so high.
Like the fact that Miami did this. I can't believe they did this back to back. They did this with, I think it was Joe Harris or a different white guy, 3-point shooter that ended up flaming out. I can't remember his name. And then he went to Brooklyn. It was like 7 years
Probably
ago.
Joe Harris.
Right,
But
Joe
yeah.
Harris.
And then now they did it with Duncan Robinson. They're doing it. At least Hero's producing, but man,
Yeah.
but like there's rumors with him going to Dallas because Dallas, if you can get a 40% 3-point shooter, spot up guy that helps Luka a bunch.
Yes. Any shooters you can get around Luka, that would be fine. But
Yeah.
like
Do they
Duncan,
want Patrick Williams, you think, in Dallas?
He's too good for Dallas.
Is spot up shooter,
bottom shooter.
40%
Yeah.
3-point shooter.
He's better than Dorian Finney-Smith. Like if you can't do that straight up.
I'll
take it.
My God.
Give me it. Injected straight into my
You guys need to
veins.
watch
Saints.
other teams other than the Bulls.
Yes, that's the
You guys
problem.
get too
A
jaded.
lot of Bulls. A lot of Bulls. A lot of Bulls games.
I just want to ask you guys the over under 1.5 players from the Hornets get traded by the trade deadline.
I don't even know who's available off the Hornets.
Everyone.
The team I'm not,
Besides
I'm not paying
LaMelo.
attention to. Yeah, there's a team. I'm not-
I think
Zero
it's
attention.
over. I think it's 3.
Because Dennis Smith
They're
Jr.
blowing
is
it up.
kind of like this year's Gary Payton II in a way, where he's like redefined himself as the defensive stopper. He was actually trained himself to become a football player, like to try out for the NFL, and then he went back to the NBA. PJ Washington, he's been a guy that people want.
He's a guy.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah,
He's a guy.
he's a guy.
He's a guy.
All right.
that-
Yeah,
40%
that was
for 3-point shooter.
that's what everybody wants in the league right now.
Prototypical player.
The prototypical player. All right. Speaking of a non-prototypical player, Kevin Durant. He's been.
What do you
down.
mean I'm not a typical player?
He's what you really want. He's a diamond.
That's
player.
the worst
I don't know.
segue I've ever heard.
That was a rough one. Ooh, that was a tough transition. It's coming off the rails
Speaking
here.
of not
a little
the kind
bit.
of player
This
you
is-
want,
This is
Kevin
the Washington
Durant.
Wizards game of
Ooh,
my
this is the third quarter of the
This
Wizards.
is the
game.
third quarter. We're in the third quarter. The Wizards were getting blown out by 20.
Fair
KD down 2 to 4 weeks with a sprained MCL is what I believe is what's been
Yes.
reported. This sucks. I hate seeing KD down. Joey, what do you think, man? Are you think Brooklyn's gonna be okay? Do you think this spells trouble for them? They were having a good run there and kind of flying under the radar, but
So I went through game by game. If it is a month, this puts them like right up almost to the All-Star break. I think if he's out to early February, you probably keep him out through the All-Star break, which is like a week and a half after the month timeline.
Yeah.
So if that plays out, I had him going like 7 and 8. I think I went game by game, just kind of.
yeah, just see what was going on.
They've got a mix of some easy games and a mix of some tough games in there. They got Boston twice, but they've also got like Detroit in there and some other pretty cupcake games. But the big concern is like where do you find that 30 points on that team,
Yeah.
right? Like you look around and it's like as a whole, right? When he's getting 30 and Kyrie's getting 25, that works for the other guys to get, the 15 to 20 or, that kind of range. But
Yeah,
like,
he needs somebody to
can-
step up.
even if Kyrie ups his production, 10 points, it gets him into that like 30 to 35 range. That's still not
Fair enough.
enough to really take him all the way, right? Like, are you trusting Ben Simmons is going to become like
Say,
a
where are you, Ben?
consistent 20 points a game? Like, I don't have confidence in that. But I still think with Kyrie and some of the other pieces, they're good enough to kind of float around like a 500 mark if he's out for a month. Any longer than a month, though, I think the 7 and 8 just kind of keeps snowballing, right? You're probably winning one for losing every two, and it just kind of gets out of hand quick. But all reports seem to be this is not his
not
knee
as
injury
bad.
from last year. This is a 2 to 4 week thing, and that's it.
Chris, any concerns?
I was concerned, and then like Joey, I looked at the schedule. They got OKC, they get the Spurs, they get Utah, they get Detroit. Yeah, this team's gonna be fine. They got TJ Warren and Royce O'Neal to kind of pick up the slack a little bit. Yuta Watanabe was a guy that everyone loved for like 2 weeks at the beginning of the year, and he's kind of steadily fallen off a little bit. And Ben Simmons, not free falling, but and Ben Simmons, everyone's saying he's coming back, and maybe he is, but maybe his scoring picks up in the next couple of weeks. I'll be interested to see that. Maybe they'll win some games with him hitting free throws. So
I doubt that.
Doubtful.
Mr. 41%.
yeah,
Prototypical.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Prototypical. 6'10. Long, can shoot.
40,
That's why he was number 1 overall pick.
40 to 42% is where we want to be. That's the number.
Well, it's from 3.
Yeah, from the
From the
wrong line.
From the wrong line there, bud. Wow. Yeah. All right. I'm with you guys. I don't think this is a major concern. I definitely think it's a bump in the road. Hopefully, it doesn't derail them
I
too
can't believe
bad.
Brooklyn. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you don't like Brooklyn.
I,
All right, let's move on.
I was looking
Go
at
ahead.
how Brooklyn's 12th.
Uh-oh.
They're gonna be terrible. Brooklyn's gonna be bad. Now they're the second in the East, and it's like, oh yeah, Brooklyn's back. Kevin Durant.
Oh yeah,
We
Kevin
all
Durant and
forgot
Kyrie
Kevin
Irving are
Durant's one of
kind
the
of
best
good.
players. Yeah.
So is Kyrie,
pretty good
according to the
player.
All-Star voting.
I think because of all the nonsense. I mean, Kyrie's an absolute idiot, but everything that he does clouds the fact that he's a really good basketball player. But all right, well, let's move on and eliminate some really bad teams.
Blinded by the light.
Yeah, that's exactly blinded by the light. All right, so what do we say? We eliminated the last time we did this, about a quarter of the way through the season. We eliminated the Rockets, Pistons, and Spurs from the playoffs, and I don't see any reason that was a wrong. Those were all right picks, so we're good.
It's the
Good
Look
best
at
bet
us.
we've ever made.
Yeah,
Look at
3 for
us.
3.
Three for
Super
three there.
knowledgeable.
Nobody came. I think it's gonna be a little harder this round. So I found two teams
No.
It's gonna
that I was pretty. Oh no, I found one team that was for sure on, and then I struggled to come up with two other teams that I was definite on. Kind of
be.
curious.
I've got one for sure, one like 60%, and then I'm struggling for a third.
All right, who is your for sure then?
Can we just all say at the same time?
Yeah.
Count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Orlando.
Charlotte.
OKC.
Oh,
Whoa!
Whoa.
We all said 3
You know what?
different ones.
I forgot Charlotte was on. But maybe those are our three teams.
Charlotte's my
Charlotte?
number 2. That would
Yeah,
oh
I
yeah,
forgot about
Charlotte's
Charlotte.
is definitely number 1.
Yeah, Charlotte was
Charlotte, yes.
was the for sure lock. That was really funny. I thought we all had Charlotte for sure. Okay. Well, all right. So I'll do Charlotte. So Charlotte's 11-31. Everything is just terrible for them. They're just a bad
garbage.
team. Like they were excited that Terry Rozier had a good game the other night. It was like, woo, okay, cool. So
Cool.
yeah, they're so far gone in the East. There's no hope on that side. So that's a for sure lock for me.
Yeah, you know what? Because they were below Detroit in the standing. I didn't look at them.
They are 8 games out of the 10th seed right now.
Yeah, they're toast. I went with Orlando. They're 3 games out of the 10th seed. They're a good team. They've been playing well. But they're 500 in their last 10. But they do not want to make the playoffs, I don't believe. And I think there's the teams ahead of them do. So I think that they're going to continue to stay down there. They might sneak up into that 11th seed or something. But I think ultimately they're going to miss it. Chris, who was your lock was OKC?
Yeah.
Why?
Similar reasons to why you picked Orlando.
Yeah.
They're competitive. They're playing well right now, but like we've seen this last couple of years, Shea has not played more than 56 games. Actually, yeah, in the last 3 years, he's played 37, 56, and 35. Is he going to play more than 60 this year? I think they're going to shut him down again at some point to get another asset in the draft.
Yeah. So, any other teams besides those 3 you guys would want to kind of shout out and put in the mix?
So I got a list of some free
Yeah,
falling teams I wanted to call out. The Utah Jazz are 11-20 in the last 31 games after their super hot start.
Here they come
of being 10-3. They're 11-20. The Portland Trailblazers 10-18 after starting 9-3.
Rough.
The Phoenix Suns, they are 6-15.
Yeah, that's a rough stretch.
In their last 19 after being 21. They're now 21-21. So whatever math is there. They were off to a great start. And then the East, we got the Toronto Raptors.
Yes, this is another thing I'm very concerned about.
Who were 7-14 in the last 21. The Atlanta Hawks I added because I was high on the Atlanta Hawks earlier. I was high on Atlanta and low on Brooklyn, and it's completely flipped. They're 13-16, but like they're losing to the LeBron Lakers, and they just lost tonight to the Bucks, I think. Yes.
Had that game on. I watched other teams.
This team's not going to beat anybody. They don't have a player that's better than any other team's best player. I feel like Trae Young's just not that guy. And so they're kind of like a steady negative team. Yeah. And then the Washington Wizards, who just won tonight, but prior to tonight, We're 6-17 the last 23. So good job, Chicago,
Ooh.
on that one.
Well, P. Will, really showed him what was up. Gave him the business.
Out of those teams, I really wanted to cross
6
off
points.
Washington until Kuzma hit that step back 3.
Yeah,
So-
Washington was another team I really wanted to cross off too. But yeah, I'm not
They're-
sure.
They're flirting just close enough that I'm not ready to write it off yet.
I feel like those 3 teams are good. I feel like Orlando, Charlotte, OKC are good ones. Everybody else, I could still make a case. I do kind of see some of those teams you're talking about, Chris, as the free falling teams. They're coming. They might be in the mix next round, at the third.
Yeah, and
third
I didn't
quarter
want
mark.
to. Yeah,
Yeah. But they're just like, hey,
I said last time I was pretty confident the Lakers were going to be on the list, and I really want my preseason prediction to be right, but they are.
ooh,
I said Utah. And
they're a half
I'm
game out of
feeling-
the play-in,
I'm
man.
so out of-
really
I'm so out of Utah.
need Rudy Gobert
Yeah.
and Minnesota to start being better. So
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
after
we
it,
all
Chris.
do.
But yeah, Charlotte, Orlando, OKC. I
I'm
think
gonna
that
talk
works.
All
to
right.
them.
So we've officially eliminated 6 teams from the playoffs. I don't think we've missed yet.
No,
Next round will be a little.
Next round
What
is
should we
gonna
do
be
next
tough.
round? Like at the All-Star break?
No, we'll do it at about 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah.
So is that about the All-Star break? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about the All-Star break. All right. Do that around coming back from the All-Star break. We'll see who's left.
So yeah, Hornets, Magic, Thunder are eliminated. So we
All right. Yep. Hornets, Magic, Thunder, added to the Spurs, Rockets, and Pistons. All right. Well, that is it for us tonight. Join us next week to talk more NBA basketball. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at the Box Out Boys. Slide on those DMs. Join us Wednesdays around 8:30 and send us an email to theboxoutboys@gmail.com. And as always, like, subscribe, and review wherever you listen to this at now. We very much appreciate that. So for Chris, Joey, and Adam, I'm Tyson. Until next time, Box Out.